Welcome back, everybody, to the Seattle Emeralds MyNBA series. We are wrapping up Season 1 with this expansion dynasty. Sitting at 24 and 57. I mean, as I mentioned last episode, fan interest is at an all-time high in Seattle. Just such loyal fans in this area, so you know, as we start to get better, this is only going to be a better rebuild in the long term. We do get to take on a bit of a rival in the Oklahoma City Thunder, the team that took away the Supersonics in the first place from Seattle. Unfortunately for us, no playoff implications. I mean, we're sitting at the very bottom of the Western Conference, 4 games back from the next worst team in the conference, which is the Jazz, who are sitting at 28 wins. The Clippers have 28 wins as well. We'll probably see them move on from James Harden in this offseason, I imagine, as well as the Suns, despite having a pretty stacked roster, sitting at the 13th seed. So right now, there are some competitions. The Warriors, Pelicans, and Grizzlies are all kind of competing for those final 3 play-in spots. The Timberwolves sit at 7. The Nuggets have run away with the consensus 1 seed, sitting at 61 and 20, one of the better teams in recent NBA history. The Thunder, who originally were the 1 seed for most of the year, kind of fallen off a little bit. They now sit 7 games behind the Nuggets, but as I mentioned, everybody else has clinched besides the 9, 10, and 11 seed. So we could see a bit of a change. Warriors and Pelicans stand their ground. The Grizzlies will be eliminated, or Grizzlies win, one of those teams lose. The Grizzlies could be able to jump into the playoffs, and they made a trade for Zach LaVine at the trade deadline, so it would be shocking to see them miss the playoffs completely. On the Eastern Conference side of things, obviously, Celtics, 76ers, Hornets sitting at the 3 seed. They've had a really, really good year. I mean, it's just exciting when you see a team like Charlotte finally make that jump into playoff contention. Nick Smith Jr. has been a really great option off the bench for them, shooting 40% from 3, who's now slotted in at that starting shooting guard position. Brandon Miller, not having a great year, but a solid season. Saloon having an okay season here in year 2, not shooting it particularly all that well, 32% from 3. Nick Richards, Mark Williams, Max Strus, who they brought in on the trade with the Cavs. I believe they gave up Trey Mann, maybe? I think they gave up Trey Mann. I can't remember exactly. But here's a look. The Eastern Conference side of the things is much more solidified. There's only really one thing that could change, and that is between the Knicks and the Raptors, the 10 and 9 seed. Those could swap up depending on who wins and who loses. But that's still not really going to affect who makes the play-in tournament or playoffs as a whole. So the Eastern Conference side of things, much less interesting going into the final game of the season. We do have a chance, though, to play spoiler. If we upset the Thunder here, we could push them down to the 3 seed. Not that that makes a massive difference, but that's a big difference between home playing and road playing in the playoffs, and they're tied right now with the Rockets. So if somehow we win, Rockets win their game, we'll be able to push Houston up to the 2 seed and push the Thunder down a seed. But I mean, this team is just so stacked. I mean, when you've got J-Dub coming off the bench, what are you going to do? Such a talented team that they've built there in OKC, and I'm interested to see where they go in the playoffs. But right now, our records are flipped. We have 3 less losses than they do, or 3 less wins than they have losses. So that's not the greatest recipe for success, as you see DeMar DeRozan rocking 41. His role has diminished over the last few years, but still a very solid option for them that they brought in the offseason. They actually ended up sliding J-Dub to the bench in place of DeMar DeRozan, allowing him to start, getting J-Dub that bench action. He's kind of one of their main scorers off the bench. And this team is just really well constructed. They brought in Cam Thomas. They still have Chet. They still have Isaiah Hartenstein. This year is a really big year for OKC because a lot of those guys are on expiring deals. They're going to be going into free agency. They're not going to be able to re-sign all of them. Let's see what we can do against a stacked, or I should say elite roster, as Chet Holmgren, not much doubt there. He wins the tip ball, and we get to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Miles Bridges, Chet Holmgren, Cam Thomas, and DeMar DeRozan starting on that side of the ball. But Tadze blocks the first dunk attempt by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's going to lob it ahead to Ace Bailey. Bailey's going to drive, hop, step, layup, no good. Good contest from Cam Thomas. Both teams missing their first attempt. Now we have Bridges up the court, gives it to Shai. Shai kicks it to Holmgren. Cam Thomas going to swing it around to Debo. DeMar DeRozan Around the screen, he's going to drive past Kispert. He's going to dunk it down. DeMar DeRozan with the first points of the day for the Thunder. So we get a chance now again. Shea working on Isaiah Collier. ISO ball, one-on-one. Collier, step back, Shea. Collier blocks the shot. Corey Kispert rebounds it ahead. He's going to give it off to Isaiah, and he throws it down. What a defensive... what a defensive play there from Isaiah Collier as Ace Bailey hits his first shot of the day. He's got an early triple on the board. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander driving on Collier this time. Probably not going to be able to block him multiple times. Chet Holmgren now float game strong. And Rondo wants an early timeout, up by one. Ace Bailey mid-range jumper, no good. DeMar DeRozan with the board. Ace Bailey has been one of the top rookies in the NBA. DeRozan lobs it to Bridges. And Miles Bridges throws it down, finally out of Charlotte, as he has been a very good player for this Thunder team. And that starting power forward role, Ace Bailey with Cam Thomas on him. That's a mismatch all day. Bailey with an early 7 points here in the first quarter. That three ball no good from J-Dub. He is now in the game off the bench. Corey Kispert gets it ahead, trying to slow it down. They're going to go down low to Ace Bailey. Pump fakes, throws it up, and one-handed slam around DeMar DeRozan's defensive effort. Is able to go down, and the Emeralds playing band for band right now with the Thunder. Isaiah Collier drives, Cam Thomas trailing him, and he rejects that one. DeMar DeRozan with the rebound. What a defensive play by Cam Thomas. They're going to go ahead. Miles Bridges defense turning into offense. Big shot there for the Thunder, going up 22-16 now with around a minute to go. J-Dub, I'm going to have to get him and J-Will confused. That one's good. J-Dub over the outstretched arms of Ace Bailey. Solid defense there, but better offense as we now head into the second quarter. Malik Monk goes down low. J-Will with the layup. His first bucket against his old team today. He's got 2 points, a rebound, and an assist on the stat sheet. Malik Monk's going to drive. He's going to kick it. Simon Fontecchio, 5 in the game. Can't make it 8. Looking for the 3. Aaron Wiggins gets the board. Nobody ahead for J-Dub, and he gets the easy reverse dunk. As that one, just not a good effort play. Now Malik Monk looking to respond. Driving off the screen. Malik Monk throwing it down with the tomahawk jam. What a play by Malik Monk off the bench. Potential 6-man of the year candidate, but SGA responds with a 3. That is something Shea has worked on since he got into the NBA. One of the biggest question marks when he was drafted was his three-point shot, and that was a big one right there. Malik Monk lets it fly. Good contest, but Wiggins wasn't there quick enough as Malik Monk still able to hit the shot somehow. Conley now in the game. He's got 3 so far. He's going to go down low to J-Will. Nobody stopping him. That pass is intercepted by Wiggins. Going ahead. J-Dub ahead of the pack and one. Malik Monk fouls him from behind. And now J-Dub's going to get a chance at the and one opportunity. That is good. 41-34 lead. Make it 43-39. Ace Bailey drives off the screen. He's going to kick it at Jalen Williams. Will that one go? No, it won't. Struggling from 3, the Emeralds are. Bailey has 15 in the first half, though. This time they pass it. J-Dub being guarded by J-Will, the former friends, the former teammates. J-Dub gives it to Debo. DeMar DeRozan driving, and one. Blocking foul on P.J. Tucker, who normally does not get much playing time on this team, but when you're playing against a fast team like the Thunder, you've got to throw as many bodies at them as Isaiah Collier steps it back. He had a fast break chance. Instead, he's going to settle for the mid-range jumper to Ace Bailey. That one's good. He's got 17 on 50% shooting from the field as we near the final minute and a half to go in this quarter. Isaiah Collier jumps the screen. Cam Thomas stops on a dime and lets it fly and hits that one as it is now a 49-41 ball game. We're going to see Corey Kispert off the screen from Batadze. Looking corner 3 with a man on his hip. Corey Kispert, his first shot of the night, goes down. And he has been such a reliable three-point shooter. Final seconds of the quarter. Thomas, mid-range jumper. No, he passes it to Bridges, who hits the shot. And we have a 1.7 to go. Ace Bailey lobs it. No good. So they're going to go into halftime down 53-46. A valiant effort so far by the Emeralds against one of the best teams in the NBA. We're looking to pull off the upset, though. We don't want a participation trophy. Simon Fontecchio Batadze, Kispert, and Collier here to start the second half. Ace Bailey drives a mid-range floater, or fading jumper, I meant to say. Falls. As that one goes 19 now for Bailey. DeMar DeRozan, Holmgren, Thomas, Bridges, and Shea. Their starting lineup back out there. DeMar DeRozan hits the mid-range jumper. 6 of his 10 points coming in that mid-range area, as he is so good at hitting those shots. Simon Fontecchio's 3 is good. Shea with the late contest, but Fontecchio gets it to fall now. DeMar DeRozan off the screen, rolling, hits Holmgren underneath. 60-51. This defense for the Emeralds not doing much of anything, as we see Miles Bridges get blocked by Batadze from behind. Was expecting an easy dunk there, but instead, Bridges blocked by Batadze. Ace Bailey steps aside and hits the 3. 56-60. Bailey with 7 in the third and 24 on the night, but Shea responds with the two-handed jam off the cut. As the Thunder shooting over 50% right now, 53% from the field. Shea working on Fontecchio. They're going to instead go to Holmgren, who goes to Thomas. Thomas going to get the screen from Holmgren. Monk goes under. Thomas open 3. Thomas hits it as expected. What a shot by Cam Thomas there off the screen. Fontecchio looks to respond, and he does that. Simon Fontecchio with 14 on the day. He's been very reliable for us starting since we moved on from Georges Niang. Jay Will driving, gets it picked out of his pocket. Shea with the pickup. He's going to go ahead to J-Dub under the basket. J-Dub throws it down, as he has been so good off the bench now. Final 20 seconds of the quarter. Mike Conley drives, kicks it, swinging it to Monk in the corner. No good for the 3. 73-66. The Thunder with a chance to score still. J-Dub gives it to Ihart. 7 seconds to go. Thomas up ahead. He's going to sling it to Isaiah Hartenstein. The floater is good under the basket, as he is able to hit that with 2.9 to go. Malik Monk drives, kicks it. City Sissoko lets it fly, and it's good. Sissoko doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he hits a big shot at the buzzer to make it 81-72 as we head into the fourth quarter. Shea just, beautiful defense. Beautiful offense by Shea. Terrible defense by Mike Conley. Left him standing without a clue where to go. Again, Shea makes Isaiah Collier stumble, steps back, mid-range jumper's good. Good defense there that time by Collier on the recovery, but still not able to get the shot blocked or stop the shot by Shea, as the rebound goes to Jay Will. We're going to get another attempt. Ace Bailey, step back jumper in the corner. That one's good. 32 now for the Rook. 92-81. Bailey again with the ball, working on Lou Dort, one of the better defenders on the perimeter. Doesn't matter, though. Bailey hits the mid-range jumper. Back-to-back buckets for the Rook, as that time a rejection by Jay Will. Up ahead, Ace Bailey looking to go 3 for 3. 92-85. The score is now just a 7-point difference. The Thunder, not a great start to this fourth quarter. It's a 10-point ball game, though. Simon Fontecchio goes corner. Back out to Collier. Kispert's sitting in the corner. Collier's going to pass it to Bailey. Driving, kicks it to Kispert. Late contest by DeMar, and that one's good. Corey Kispert with 8 points on the night. The sharpshooter just continues to hit well from 3. Ace Bailey throws it down, cutting to the basket. He has 39 now, 10 of which have come from the paint, so he has been perimeter dominant along the perimeter. 98-91, Chet Holmgren looking for the 3. Shot clock is low, and he hits it. Back up to 10 as they stand right around that mark. 9 points, 10 points. Ace Bailey spinning and lays it in. 41 points now for him. 104-96, a minute 57 to go. Bailey is going to get a screen from Fontecchio. Cam Thomas guardian goes under. Fontecchio with the beautiful screen sets up the Bailey 3. It is 104-99. Now Cam Thomas drives. Float game on the layup is good. Batadze with the foul. That might just do it. That was a tough pill to swallow. Good defense, but he hits the layup and the refs call the questionable foul. Fontecchio looks to respond. 3 of his own is good. So they do respond, making it back to a 5-point game. 111-102 now, though. Just too little, too late. The Thunder have been so dominant on offense. Shea drives around Batadze and lays it up and in. That one will do it. 113-102. The Thunder take down the Emeralds. We played the Spurs last episode, so I got them on my mind right now. Unfortunately, We played hard, but we are going to fall to 24-58 on year one as a franchise. Time to get into the offseason. I'm excited for that, though, because as we all know, the offseason is really the time where you can improve. Unfortunately for us, the Thunder will finish with the 2 seed. So the Rockets did win. So if we had just finished our job, we would have been able to knock the Thunder down a spot. But it is what it is. Jokic takes home MVP again. His third MVP trophy, 21, 12, 9, 1, and 1, basically shooting 50, 82, and 30. Not as good from 3 as we would expect, but hey, Ace Bailey, Rookie of the Year. That 40-point game must have helped him a lot there because he was third when we went into that game, but 18, 5, 1, 1, and 1, shooting 44, 78, and 32% from 3, respectively. What a rookie season for Ace Bailey. I mean, yes, he was the number 1 guy, but it is what it is. Lonzo Ball wins a 6th Man of the Year. Unfortunately, it did not go to Malik Monk. I was hoping it would, but it is what it is. DPOY goes to Wemby with 2.5 blocks and basically 2 steals a game while scoring 23. I mean, that's crazy. Corey Kispert gets Most Improved. Kind of not really a fair trophy this year, considering you go from a 5th or 6th option in Washington to a 2nd or 3rd option, depending on the night, in a real expansion team environment. Giannis takes home Clutch Player of the Year with 28, 11, 6, 1, and 1. Mike Malone wins the Coach of the Year, and Mitch Peterson for the Rockets takes home Executive of the Year, giving them the 3 seed and a 55-win year here in 2025. Jokic, Giannis, Wemby, Zion, and Luka are on all NBA first team. Mavericks fans feel so bad to see that. Joel Embiid, Sabonis, Trae Young, Bam Adebayo, and Anthony Davis on the 2nd team. And then on the 3rd team, we have Melo, Shea, Halliburton, Mobley, and Donovan Mitchell. So a lot of guards on the last team. The first 2 teams were dominated by centers and forwards. Wemby, AD, Evan Mobley, Holmgren, and Joel Embiid on all defensive first. On 2nd, we have Bam, Walker Kessler, Giannis. Somehow Jokic makes it, and then Alex Sarr. Jokic, never would have expected to see him on an all-defensive team. As expected, though, Ace Bailey makes all-rookie, as well as Dylan Harper, Cooper Flagg, Igor Demon, and VJ Edgecombe. And then on 2nd team, we've got Jeremiah Fears, Kaspers Jankunis, Nolan Trayor, Asa Newell, and Conrad Knupel, the young shooter out of Duke. And here's a look now at the playoff situation. We do have to go through the play-in tournament right now. We've got a first matchup going on between the Timberwolves and the Mavericks, so that should be an interesting one. The Mavericks are obviously led by Luka Doncic. The Timberwolves are led by Rob Dillingham, who took over that starting role from Mike Conley in his 2nd year now. We obviously traded Brook Lopez over to Minnesota. They got AE, obviously Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, and Dante DiVincenzo off the bench. This team, I mean, is still really good. The Western Conference is just really good as well, so they fell all the way to the 7 seed. But they are on a 6-4 win streak in their last 10 games, and their bench is really solid as well. Brook Lopez, Malcolm Brogdon, Delano Banton, a lot of solid options there. Unfortunately for them, they're going to have to play without Julius Randle for probably the playoffs if they do make it. He has a dislocated right patella. He's going to be out for a while. He is probably their 2nd best guy on offense. The Mavericks, on the other hand, have Kyrie, Luka. They traded for K-Mid. They have PJ Washington, Derek Lively, and Jaden Hardy off the bench, as well as Taurean Prince, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Najee Marshall as their first 4 guys off the bench, with some solid options behind them. The other matchup in the Western Conference is the Warriors and the Pelicans, so nothing changed there. The Warriors are led by Steph, Jimmy Butler, Draymond, obviously Brandon Podziemski. Pelicans have the same core, but KJ Lewis is forced to start due to some injuries to Trey Murphy. But they have a solid roster built around them as well. CJ McCollum and Trey Murphy are both out, so they will be missing this play-in tournament game. On the Eastern Conference side of things, we've got the Magic and the Heat, a bit of a Miami rivalry here. The Magic, same core as always, Cole Anthony off the bench, and then they also still have KCP. They brought in Clint Capella, drafted Derek Queen. I mean, this team is really, really stacked on the bench. We'll see if they have the offensive firepower to make it through into a playoff run. The Heat made the trade for Kawhi Leonard at the trade deadline, barely made it to the 8th seed, but they still have a chance to get the playoffs, get into the playoffs. They've got Kawhi, they've got Tyler Hero, they've got Jonathan Kuminga from the Jimmy Butler trade a year ago, Bam Adebayo, Igor Demon, who they drafted, Khalil Ware is still on the bench, Derek Jones Jr. is on the bench. They've got a really, really solid all-around team, in my opinion. And then probably the least interesting matchup, we've got the Knicks versus the Raptors. The Knicks would have been higher than this, but they are currently missing Jalen Brunson. He's been out for a while after tearing his ACL. So, yeah, not a good season for the Knicks. 29 years old. You've got to wonder how much Jalen Brunson has left in the tank. How fast will he come back from that ACL tear? You really don't know. And then on the Raptors side of the ball, they've just got the same young core. They brought in KPJ, but they've got RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick, Kadeem Malik out of Duke, I believe. And yeah, they've just got a solid team all around. Nobody that's, really standing out for them. As the Pelicans lose to the Warriors, the Knicks lose to the Raptors, we see the Magic move on the Eastern Conference side of things, and we see the Heat and the Raptors in the second play-in tournament game on the Western Conference side of things. The Mavericks move on, and we will see the Timberwolves versus the Golden State Warriors. So year 2 of the Jimmy Butler experiment, will it pay off? Let's see. As the Timberwolves and the Warriors both fight for the 8th seed, and the Warriors do get in. So the Timberwolves missed the playoffs entirely on the Eastern Conference side of things. The Miami Heat and the Raptors, we see the Raptors get eliminated after knocking the Knicks out. Tyler Hero had 24, Kawhi with 18. They're able to knock out Toronto and face off against the Celtics. Maybe another, legendary 8th seed run by the Heat. That would be crazy because they'd be like the first organization to do it twice. They do win game 1. That's how it starts. You get a win in game 1 in Boston, 113-96, a dominant win as well. Jason Tatum had 36, but everybody else didn't really do a whole lot. 36, 18 for Jaylen Brown, 17 for Derek White. Kristaps Porzingis struggled. Peyton Pritchard only had 5. Not a good game for the Celtics to start off this potential playoff run, hoping for another championship berth. Well, I guess technically, yeah, hoping for another championship berth because they did technically win it 2 seasons ago. As we now get a look on the Western Conference side of things, the 8th seed wins as well. The Nuggets upset by the Warriors, 101-98. Steph Curry leading the Warriors to another potential finals run. If they can get past this 1 seed, you can do anything if you can get around the 1 seed as an 8th seed. Once you do that, all your momentum is there. The Rockets, dominate the Lakers by 46 in game 1. The Celtics do knot it up 1-1, and the Charlotte Hornets down 0-2. So first year in the playoffs since 2016, and they trail 0-2 in round 1. Pacers Bucks at 1-1. 76ers Magic at 1-1, and then on the Western side 1-1 in the first seed. Trailblazers and Spurs tied up. Rockets go up 3-0. Celtics go up 2-1. This not looking good. Yeah, the Lakers get swept rather easily. LeBron, maybe his last game as a Los Angeles Laker, as an NBA player potentially, with 21-11 as they lose by 5. The Rockets just dominated this. De'Aaron Fox and Sengun combined for 46 points out of their 110. So it's a very solid effort from your top 2 guys. Really was never close. Most of the games they got blown out. Game 4 was the closest with a 5-point game. But yeah, Lakers knocked out. 41-year-old LeBron James, probably done for if we had to guess. They did make a trade for DeAndre Hunter, so maybe that's, enough to get him back because he thinks they can compete again. Let's look on the other side of things. The Pacers get the gentleman's sweep by the Bucks, and the Celtics go up 3-2. Same thing for the Hornets. Game 6 or Game 5 for the Bucks-Pacers series after the Pacers went up 1-0. So the reverse sweep, I guess, goes to Milwaukee. Giannis averaging 36 a game. Damian Lillard only 19. Bobby Portis, so having a really good year or good playoff performance with 23.5 points. As we now get to look at any other teams. The Nuggets, gentlemen, sweep the Warriors. Celtics take down the Heat in 6 games. Valiant effort by the 8th seed over there on the eastern side of things. The Warriors kind of got reverse swept as well after winning game 1, so the Nuggets move on. In a couple of game 7s, we've got the Hornets and Cavs as we get our chance to look at who will win this one. Thunder and Mavericks will go on as well. The Mavericks get eliminated. The Hornets move on in their game 7. The Magic move on in their Game 7. They win by 15 over Philadelphia. So the Magic finally making a run. You know, this young core has been building for years now, and they are finally ready for a playoff run. Paul George, I mean, 10 points in the playoffs. Not shooting it inefficiently, but just 10 points per game for a guy that's almost making a max contract is crazy. And then a Game 7 performance where he just was awful is not going to help you. So we are set up in the conference finals. Houston and OKC, Denver and Portland, Boston and Charlotte, and then the Magic and the Bucks. The Magic win Game 1. As we're just going to go through these series rather quickly. 1-1 tied up there. Looks like the Celtics may sweep the Hornets. Same thing with Denver, as they are both up 3-0 respectively in their series. The Blazers get swept. The Hornets do win one. On the other side, we have the Rockets with a 3-2 lead over the Thunder. That's kind of shocking right there. Hornets win 2 back-to-back games, so we've got a couple of Game 7s and a Game 6. Can the Hornets keep their series hopes alive here in Boston? Or no, this one will be in Charlotte, but doesn't matter. The Boston Celtics, as I somehow had a Boston accent, even though I've lived in the South my entire life right there, win that one, as we see the Bucks move on and the Thunder move on, as the Thunder come back from down 3-2. So impressive win there. Looks like the Nuggets are going to sweep. I mean, they've had one loss the entire playoffs, and I jinxed it right there. They now have 2 losses. But still, I mean, 4-1, 4-0, and 3-1 right now. If they can win this, what a run by the Nuggets, no matter what happens in the finals. The Eastern Conference, the Thunder are obviously going to get eliminated in 5, and the Bucks eliminate the Celtics in 6. So we're going to get a Jokic and Giannis matchup. And Jokic honestly didn't play that well in the Western Conference Finals. Had 17, shot 18% from the three-point line. So we'll see. The Nuggets win Game 1 pretty easily, it seems like. 105-96 in Game 2 for the Nuggets. 115-110. And yeah, Nuggets with a dominant playoff run and a dominant finals performance, as they lose 2 games across the span of the 16 wins they needed to win the NBA Finals. Christian Braun with his second championship since he was drafted 3 years ago. Jokic with another championship, as he is priming himself to be one of the greatest NBA players ever. If he can just maybe get one more playoff run, he will probably be the greatest center of all time at the end of the day. But that's the end of Season 1 for your Emeralds. I mean, it's been really exciting, but this is obviously going to be the most exciting part, which is the draft and the NBA free agency period. We'll go out there and see how we can improve this team, how this team can get better overall in year 2, and hopefully make a little bit more noise. Maybe a play-in run would be cool. Maybe a play-in appearance would be cool, but that is a really big jump to go from worst team in the NBA to play-in tournament team. But if we draft well, if we sign good role players, I believe that we can definitely make that jump rather quickly, especially with a guy like Ace Bailey on the roster. Anyways, though, that is going to do it for this episode. Hope you all did enjoy. As always, if you are enjoying this series, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me out so much by getting you guys to be able to watch my videos constantly and get updated alerts when I do upload a video. Thank you all, though, for watching this one again. Catch you all next episode as we head into the 2026 NBA Draft, and the Seattle Emeralds look to make a big splash.